MBA, which is a mortgage broker association, came out and said that last week we were up 5% for new purchase applications and up 10% for refi applications. So it shows you that there's still demand out there. That's week over week. It's up 5%. Year over year, it was down probably still significantly from last year. Obviously, we have a lot less buyers in the pool. But overall, we have more buyers in the pool. Jeff, when you're looking at it right now, what are your clients looking at? And are they paying attention to this? Like Ian's clients, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think my clients aren't paying attention to the CPI. What they're paying attention to is what's their lender telling them for their mortgage rates right now. And really my buyers are focusing on how can I get a concession to lower my rate?
Right.
So if you're looking at resale versus used, had a buyer who just put a home under contract in Santa Rita Ranch.
Yep.
We compared to two homes, exact same price. One of them with a $13,500 concession to buy down the rate with the builder. The resale home, to be equivalent, needed to drop the price by $60,000. It was a no-brainer to buy the new construction home. Another buyer, same thing. Get the rate concession, the deal works because now they've increased their purchasing power. Then you go to the seller who says, well, I don't want to offer that. Let's make them ask. And you look through the data in a given neighborhood, you'll find that 50 to 70% have on average about an $8,000 concession. So people aren't advertising it, but that's what it's taking to get the deals done. So they're not focusing on the macro national news. They're focusing on what does it take to get the deal done right now? Because on the houses that are in good condition, there's still multiple offers and the price is going up, but they still need these concessions. So it's really tricky to get these deals done.
So these homes that have the concessions, these are inventory though, right?
Well, yeah, these are inventory homes, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm in a situation right now where I've got some clients that are, they started building, I want to say in January, and they were told that they wouldn't be finished until October. And now the builder's like, you know what? We've had plenty of time to get this done. We're closing in June. It's like, whoa. And so now they've had to worry about mid-July. So now they've had to worry about like, when do they lock in their rate? And that is when they start paying closer attention, asking the questions about, okay, what's the best time so that I don't have a spike in my interest rate?
Yeah. Go ahead.
And on the investor side, they're still pretty much absent from the market. If they're looking for a property that has to have income to justify a loan, it's just not happening because they're still in the sevens, a real high origination cost. And then with property taxes high, properties simply don't cash flow unless you're at 40 to 50% down. Your cost of money, your return on your money is less than you're going to get on a certificate of deposit. So a lot of investors are sitting out unless they're paying cash and they're buying at a really deep discount.
Well, and if you think about the market this year compared to last year, I want to talk about that, but I also want to go back to the builders and what I did a video about builders. But if you're looking at that, if you look at the market last year, we saw all these investors trying to get in before rates went up. And what was it? There was different opinions of how many investors were purchasing, but it was like 28 to 30% of the purchasers last year and in 2021 were actually investors in our market. A lot of them have disappeared. Now look at the buyer demand, right? It's a third really of where it was. So if you imagine, if you add back in that 30%, we're still down 1/3 from where we would have been. So while you have a lot of these channels out there saying, oh, the market's crashing. And, Patrick McDavid said that the market's the lowest it's been. Well, what he was referring to is that the sales have been the lowest, but overall nationally, inventory is down across the board nationally. There's a few places up where it's up. One of them is here in Austin. And so that's where, if you're a buyer, and this is where builders in this video that I just did the builders are having fun right now, because the reality is builders can compete. Just like Jeff said, they can give 13,500 in concessions. They can buy down your rate to 4.9%. And then when you're looking at some of the resale in that same neighborhood, you're going, well, okay, just like Jeff said, $60,000 higher or 60,000 same price, but I'm getting $13,000 in concessions and I don't have to, it's less I have to come up with, and I'm getting a better rate. Where over here, $60,000, it doesn't make sense. And so that's where the market, if you're getting ready to sell in a neighborhood, and Ian, you've seen my videos, you've been along for the ride. I always told people, be very careful about buying a new construction neighborhood, when you have really high property taxes in that neighborhood and they're going to be building forever, because the builder does become your competition at a certain point. Now, I have a listing in this same area that we're talking about in the Liberty Hill area. It's the Georgetown side of Liberty Hill, and we're under contract. And when I spoke with them, I gave them a price that was 15,000 below really where they wanted to be. I said, the reason why is because our competition is builders. We need to buffer in that 15 grand because that's what the builders are offering. And we went and looked at all the incentives the builders were giving. So we priced it correctly, 15,000 below, multiple offers.
Right.
So, and we got exactly what they wanted. They're super happy. So it's something to think about in this market. We have a lot less demand, just like Jeff said, because investors are out of the market and overall buyers are skittish. They're hearing all of these channels talk about the market crashing, but we crashed last year. Let's be honest. We crashed last year. Now you're seeing the fluttering of the market.
I was really interested last year when we were dealing with a lot of the investors being capped out, right? Like the percentage of investors per neighborhood being capped out, and thinking, and there was always the question of, well, why would the builder do that? Why would the builder do that? And now we we had our theories why, right? But now it's coming back full circle. It's like, imagine if the builders would have given neighborhoods, like half of a neighborhood, to investors, and then we're turning around in this situation where the investors are backing out, selling, or doing what they're doing. That would have hurt a lot more.
Yeah, you're fair point. I'll pull up this in a moment, but if you think about it, if we pull the numbers right now, which I can do, I would say 45 to 50% of the inventory in the market's vacant.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
very much so.
So what other, so if buyers are looking at the market right now and they're concerned, Jeff, what advice would you give buyers that are price sensitive, right? Let's focus on price sensitive, right? So price sensitive being those people that maybe don't have 20% down, maybe need some concessions, maybe need to be under a specific price, because let's be realistic, affordability is a major issue here in the Austin area. What advice are you giving most of your clients right now? And then we'll kick it to you, Ian.
Well, I think the simple piece of it is I'm always getting my clients pre-qualified with a local lender, one that can actually sit down with them. That's number one. But the message isn't that timing the market. It's like when you see the house that you want, you need to buy it, because the variance at that $400,000 range in price, it's not that much. You're not going to win, but you're not going to win by that much. And so the key, if they need to have those concessions, you want to look at FHA loans, I think is a good solution. They're going to get protection on the appraisal, but then the key that I've always found is good collaboration with the listing agent, and the communication that the offer is not going to look like a 2021 offer. We're going to ask them to pay for expenses. We're going to ask them to pay for the buy down. And you're trying to get a feel of whether that listing agent has the ability to effectively explain that to their client.
Thanks for watching this short of the Real Amigos podcast. For more live streams, hit here. For more clips, hit here. We'll catch you on the next one.